Mailbag preview show episode 276. Uh,
Bex.
Welcome to the boys, Jack, Rob. We know Benny said today he's dodged us again, even though he sent through his winning tip last week. I thought he'd be on here celebrating. How you doing, Jack?
Very good. Very, very good. It's a phenomenal weekend in Australia. Just a phenomenal, it's a great time to be an Australian. I was betting on football and racing and now UFC. But Pies, D's tonight, Storm Broncos, I think tonight. And it just rolls on all through the weekend. We've got group racing in Sydney and Melbourne, and you're telling me there's a little group one over there, cheeky little one in New Zealand. And then Sunday you got football and the UFC. So
Just as good to be a New Zealander. We've got the Warriors on Saturday night, and we have the All Blacks on Saturday morning. Start of the Rugby World Cup. So,
is that the World Cup starting?
Yeah,
Playing for Bill. Are
big
you guys favourites?
France. We are. We're favourites in New Zealand, but I don't know if we are elsewhere. But
So basically, what happens, I think, in Australia with the World Cup is, you correct me when I go wrong here, Rob, but we've sort of, as a population, assessed that we're not very likely to compete at a high level at this World Cup, so therefore it almost doesn't exist.
I didn't even know it was on. I think the people running rugby union in Australia have done very poorly. The sport seems to be in the
Decline.
lows. Yeah, the lowest I've ever seen it. No one cares. Not even. Anyway, I can't believe I'm talking about rugby union.
Friend of the show, Freddie Carlton Smith. He seems to be the only one that's interested.
You would, though, wouldn't you, with a phenomenal, just strong name like Freddie Carlton Smith. I love Freddie and I miss him. If you're watching, Fred.
All right. We'll briefly touch on the preview show tips from last week. As I said, Benny said was our only winner with Asphora.
I flared up too much last week, didn't I? Could have gone a few safety plays. Yeah, little Asphoras, the Benedettas of the world, and we just got a little bit aggressive.
Yeah. Alligator blood
won't be happening this week, let me tell you.
Well, I'm going here. I think I've got a odds-on chance. I can't believe it's still 220.
Ooh.
Is Jack going back to the cylinder well?
Nah, I'm tipping at the Valley. I am so excited for the betting tomorrow at Moonee Valley, Friday, Saturday at Moonee Valley.
Good to hear. Looking forward to hearing about it. All right, we'll get into Rosehill races 6, 7, 8, 9, all black type races. We'll kick off with the Group 2 Shirako over 1,200 metres, Rob. Fillies and mares.
Oh, yeah, right up his alley, John. Right up. This is his hitting zone. You know,
couple of your favourites in there.
It's like bowling at Steve Smith pads. You just can't do it.
Look, this is a really competitive race, and the quality is off. I was just about to say that the Melbourne horses, the big stars, might be better than the Sydney ones in terms of the 1,600 metre horses, but these mares, I think we've got some up and comers. Tissue is sort of completely turned it around. I was on Espiona last start. Don't know how to handle that. Sorry, never on Espiona. I was on Zugocha last start. Espiona, I've never been on. Always been a big poo-poo for the horse. But yeah,
Zapateo's trolled like a fucking Learjet scratch from the Concorde last week. Resumes here.
Yeah, could be winning for sure. It seems to get 2 kilos off.
Me. What a beast it is, Rob. It's just a winner. Winners win.
It looks like a Rosehill horse. It just goes to the front, and what's the go with the rail and the true, Jack?
Up and in as well. Adjustment where needed.
Okay, well, and this Sunshine in Paris that actually beat Zugocha in a great finish, and that could be a star here. So, Queen of the Ball, very good run last start. Cinderella Days, in the Joe Pride camp, it could be, it's sort of weighted out of it in terms of its rating, but I think it's a pretty good horse. So, no idea at this moment, though. Boys, sorry, no tips.
I'll be fascinated to see what the betting does and how the track's raced up until this point. I think it will dictate that. So you got Queen of the Ball, Zapateo, IME. That's where the money will go if it's been up and in. But then the Zugocha, who got beaten by that Sunshine in Paris in the Surround Stakes, which was a Group 1, but Zoo got you started a third of its price. SP punters alike. And then there's these two Waller things, Espiona and a Tissue, that, on their day, oh boy, wowee, sort of turn of foot stuff. So phenomenal race. I wouldn't know how to bet into it at this point in time.
Perfect.
Jono, have you got an inkling?
Yeah, Jono, I think I'm happy for you to host, and I'm happy for you to evolve. And you're one of the true great stories of the Mailbag, saying that Rob and I, the two OGs, then Peter, it came from nothing. And to see you go from an intern to an employee to a fundamental player and a key player within our bloodstock business, basically the bloodstock business, you are the bloodstock business. I love it. But I think you're sort of sitting with your hands under your ass a little bit when we're talking about Sydney and Melbourne a bit too much.
All right.
And I want to see some sort of if you get one wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Have you got an opinion here?
Sunshine in Paris was the one I was looking at. I just think the in secret.
You love Annabelle. I've picked up this too, Rob. You notice how he's pulled out some jockey shit and it's always just somehow ties back through Annabelle?
Yeah.
See, got him.
Van der Holen or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he stopped him. No one's ever heard of him since Jono
no longer with us.
Said he was about to become James McDonald.
Yeah, just in secret form. I thought she bet home in secret in the surround. She was not far off in secret, 0.2 lengths in the light fingers over 1,200.
Is in secret a big price in the Everest or what?
I think it's early double figures, isn't it?
Yeah. I just think it's
the weight for age horse. Yeah, the weight for age sprinter.
It's the up and coming genetic freak, the properly bred thing that's just taken a bit of time. Those two trials were little cuddly numbers, foundation builders. So was that performance first up. They've run a big fat number. It's got that tactical speed versus I Wish I Win and Giga Kick in an Everest. So I like that horse a lot.
Winning form around that should look good for a race like that.
Yeah, I had a big bet on it in I think it was the Surround Stakes when the Sunshine in Paris beat it. And if you got by the MYM, Jack, you would have said, just kind of backward, looked a long way off where I thought it would need to be.
It lined up with a trial too, which was rewarding, for doing the work. It all sort of aligns to this horse's. They think they've got a real beast, and they're just sort of just building beautifully.
Yeah, well, it did kill them in the Newmarket. Just about won a Golden Rose. It hasn't done much wrong.
Moving on to the Ming Dynasty Group 3 3-year-olds 1,400 meter. Rob, there's a couple that you're interested in here.
Let's start with if we could buy one of these horses, which one is it?
Probably Tom Kitten. In Cafe Millennium with no way is a proper beast of a thing, and I think Step Up might help it. But yeah, I'd probably say Tom Kitten. This bloody lottery, NCAP should have just about won every start this prep. Hasn't won. So he's got to be a big chance. We found Tannhauser before it went away to Queensland as a 2-year-old, so keen to see how that's come back. Kintyre keeps running really well. Another one of these Gary Portelli horses that never look quite fit but do run well. And I was annoyed I didn't send the Joe Pride thing the other week when it was at Warwick Farm, which is Seal Wolf. I think can keep improving. It's got the right breeding to get the 14, to get 1,400 and beyond. So interesting race.
Yeah.
Interesting what you say about this NCAP. Goes outside to inside. It's 440 though. It started same price as Tom Kitten though last start.
Should have just about beaten Tom Kitten. So what are those? It says Tom Kitten. I haven't got the odds here. Try not to look at the odds and stuff, but
I'm looking at it now. I thought that NCAP would be a bigger price off just looking at the form, and there'd be an edge, but it's not. So, no comment.
Well, they're not missing it. It's one that looks like it's going to keep improving. It's going for its fourth run up, but still, 2 from top. Last time I saw it would be the way I'd play it. So maybe it's got the most improvement.
Yeah, definitely a yard watch. 18 of them to go around.
Jono, what about you?
I don't have an opinion on that race. I'm happy to sit back on that one.
Right.
Oh no, Rob, we're gonna. I don't know if we're okay with that. Are you? I'm not okay with that. Which horse do you like here, John? You been following any of these?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna stay.
What about
on the fence.
Tom Sherry? Like Scurry loves Tom Sherry. He's just given Cafe Millennium a big push. 53 kilos, $26.
Righty,
All right,
well,
so-
limited opportunities. Tom Sherry just about got home for me in the Mona Lisa at big price on the ex-Mark Newnham horse that I can't place. It went so close, but he gave it every possible.
All
Not going
right.
to take very long to talk about race 8, is it?
Run to the Rose, 1200 meter, Group 2 for 3-year-olds. What do we think? Yeah, is that a declaration of cylinder again?
I would just like to hear someone articulate why it's going to get beaten. How's it going to get beaten? It's drawn the perfect barrier. It's got a great rider for it, for a colt. He's an SP profile delight. He ticks every single box and has potential upside because Jackson Oldham, the mailbag.com.au, Bryce Manningo Mail. This is where it can be valuable for me as well. Is the report was sweaty, hot, bit big, and little trip to Melbourne, trip home, bring him on a bit. I think he's favourite to improve. Horses can't run home much faster than he ran home at Caulfield. That race he won's the Vane Stakes. The Vane Stakes is gig kick, bivouac. Like it's a nice. It's not just Melbourne form. It's pretty proper form, and
it's blue blood form. It's where the stallions of tomorrow come from.
Fully concede. You might not want to dive into the price, but I just don't think you could bet around it at the same time.
I'm interested to see how this Libertad has never been beaten, looked underdone. It was a sort of a gangly 2-year-old. I never really liked it compared to a cylinder, which is more of a compact thing. This thing's grown and it's unbeaten. It should scare you a little bit, Jack.
What about the Don Corleone?
One of the best types of 2-year-olds.
I think, is that the horse? Jono, this is where you need to lift. I reckon they paid $650 for this as a wiener.
Keep talking, I'll find out for you.
I was on that in the Blue Diamond. It should have won, Don Corleone. And, yeah, it's as good as the type as any. Shout out to Capital J, who's got a share in Nadal, who knocked me off the other week. For Kieran Ma, I think that'll run well, but not quite up to it. Maybe, well, I guess you've got it. If you don't have a go, you'll never know. But I think it's probably not this grade. But yeah, the winner's going to come for me out of 2, 3, or 4: Cylinder, Libertad, or Don Corleone.
650,000 at the Gold Coast National Weanling sale.
Weanling,
yeah.
Imagine parting with 650K just for a wiener.
Well, it wasn't long before they got pretty close to return. Pretty smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just the cahoons on them.
Yeah.
Is Militarize a big price to have a little look?
I think you'd find number 1 and go really well in this race. It's double Group 1 winner. It's by a breed that can be usually better. Yeah, train on better as 3-year-olds. Wasn't overly big 2-year-old. I think he was suited by those soft tracks. Keen to see him. Don't want to knock him, but I think, I think one of the other mentioned already will beat him.
Yeah,
I don't think Cylinder's going to kill him by any stretch, but I just think he deserves to be heavily respected. He's a beast in a good race. Should we quickly look at, or is it, were there any more in Sydney?
One to come, yeah. We have
we have to talk about race 10 as well.
All right. If this ever loads. The Theo Marks Group 2, over 1,300 metres.
Big yard race, a lot of freshies here.
Yes. Look, it's a race that was once, a weight for age race. We used to have, the best of the best would run in this race. Not this year. The inevitable, this just looks like a welter to me, and good luck. Want to see how the track's playing, but if it's up and in, not sure what happened to Madame Pomeroy last week, but that form behind Pericles is looking very strong. Probably the one to beat. Golden Mile might be gone.
I thought Madame Pomeroy was enormous and is like ready to do something big.
Why didn't she run last week? Was there an issue? She just had an extra week.
I don't pay that much attention to it, but
Crosstalk seems well in if it's up. I had a huge go for the service. We had a big go at him first up. He got beat by Zarek, who ran a really good race actually last week as well. But he seems down in the weights. Rachel King knows it's one way, or when she wins, she usually leads. So yeah, he seems to get in. He was a horse of promise until last prep, I thought.
Don't mind the look of Nugget. $6.50 at a pretty good last prep.
And potentially, did it explode? Explode first up.
There was
maybe
second
at Flemington.
Jack.
Yeah, and went good. Yeah.
And then I won its next three, so maybe it goes better earlier in the campaign.
Has great form around Jack and O, not far off Brightside in the All-Star Mile, not far off Brightside in the Doncaster.
Started $8 versus Alligator Blood. That's all you really need to know to justify having a little lash at that if you like it. Race 10, just real quick. It's fascinating. Shout out to Mark Sheen. We love him. And if you remember back, Rob, he declared this horse a good horse off its trials, Airman.
Mm-hmm.
Its trial, go and watch it if you want to see one of the greatest trials of all time. Unbelievable. Came home much better than Remark in the same trial. Remark won the Concord last week, $1 million race. I think it's going to get back worse in midfield. So we'd want to see some evidence that that's doable, but he's around $5 or something like that. I think race 10 is between Red Card and Airman. Red Card trialled nicely, has great form. Hieronymus goes on. I thought the trials were a bit aggressive, which may be why Hippo's riding. Don't know. And then there's that Spruky, Extremely Lucky, who was the biggest drifter of all time. Now gets blinkers on. And Nash, what will the betting do? It'll be fascinating to watch. Race 10 is very interesting. It's a great day's racing up in Sydney, and if you want to win and watch it and bet on it, the mailbag.com.au, Rob Scurry will feed you. Meeting up mail, eyes on ponies. He speaks to them, they speak to him, and then he texts it to you. So the mailbag.com.au.
We do our best. Thanks, Jack. That last race should be interesting. The light's usually getting going by that stage, so it's a bit harder to see for me. But sorry, back to me. Smashing Eagle is going through the grades. Tyler Schiller could run well too in that race.
Perfect.
Moonee Valley, rails in the true. Well, what do? We don't know. We just pray to God. Zeus, Allah, Buddha, Bilbo Baggins, Mary Poppins, Ablett Senior, Junior, Liam and Noel Gallagher, that they don't fuck with this track too badly and it just races somewhat to the expectation, which is it's on pace favoured. Like every racetrack, athletic track and motorsport car track in the world, inside is advantaged normally because you cover less ground. Now, phenomenal card, great card, angles absolutely everywhere. Two real juicy roughies in races 2 and 3, but I'm going to give them out to the guys on the Zoom tonight. The mailbag.com.au, you buy my prices, you can start winning too. Race 4, anchor this and everything. I mean, if you like something in the football tonight and someone in the UFC on Sunday, here's your third leg. Recommendation will win race 4. Gamble responsibly. I believe it will win. Obviously, I don't know it will win. But it will win, I think. Race 4, number 5, recommendation, Mark Eustace. Carleen Heffel claims 1.5. The horse carries no weight, and I think it would win if it carried 60. It's going to have 51.5. Very, very, very easy bet to have. Sits outside the leader.
And it's got that elite Exeter form.
Winning form. So you're saying to me it's got winning form.
Correct.
It's got 41,500 prize money. Shout out to TB too. What a human being. He just adds to the theatre of it. God bless him. We love him. We appreciate him. And we love Gavin Bedgegood, Mertens and Exeter.
It was a tragedy beaten first up, wasn't it? Just flashing.
It was flying first up.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a yo-yo, the big fella.
Well, I think it's got...
Fits straight into the mailbag.
Oh, you're talking about
Doesn't
recommendation or Exeter?
he's talking about Exeter. Flash time at Flemington.
Oh no, I'm talking about. Didn't this recommendation flash home at Moonee Valley first up? Wasn't it? Benny said it's better the day.
Just got
Think about a form.
Yeah, it wasn't my bet of the day, but it's my bet of the day today on Saturday. It'll start. I reckon it'll start $1.50. Could start shorter than $1.50. There's $1.80 out there right now. You take that and you put in everything. The next bet we're going to not have, but we're going to talk about race 6, Jono. Fascinating race. This is the 3-year-old fillies. Eyes on pony stuff. Scurry's a little bit excited if you see him just reach for the pen. You know why. Just needs to calm it right down, take a little foot off the pedal. Charmstone came through the same day, not same race, as Cylinder. They were both standout performances. Charmstone really announced herself as a beast and a group filly, no doubt, potentially a group 1 filly, and maybe even better than that. She had issues breathing and with a throat first prep. I'd suggest they fix them, and she's to be respected and trusted on the last start number. However, her map's quite tricky, and the camp can regress slightly second up. I just want to see her go around and get through gears and look for a nice race third up, even if they go to Sydney. But she's very good. Most of these horses are very good. Inhibitions, God bless it, what it did to us last start. It's in this race, but if you think it's in this race, so is Beauty Rising for Stokes and Willow. Missed a start as bad as they missed a start last start on an on-pace dominated day and just savaged it. Respect the SP, forgive that last start. It's got to be there or thereabouts. I think Right to Party and Molly Knickers are 2 really nice animals that will go on to bigger and better things, both back worse in midfield, which, maybe we've seen some evidence that says that's an okay place to be, but I doubt that we will. That leaves me with I think the safest way to bet into this race, if you wanted to have a bet, is number 10, Pride of Sullivan, who should be 2 from 2. The ride was too pretty on it last start, and it sort of had to be because it was the first race, I think, on the day where they stupidly watered the inside 2 lanes and the track raced really weirdly and they weren't sure where to be and stuff like that. It was an awkward setup, so I'm not knocking McD too much. I think the horse deserves to be 2 from 2, though, and if it was, it'd be a little bit shorter, and it's going to get every possible again from the map. So, great race. You'll learn a heap, but I quite like Pride of Sullivan there in race 6.
Jack, I take issue. Inhibitions, Jacko said, best type, but still so much improvement. Was no surprise to me because it looked like that in Sydney as well. So that's only going to improve. I thought it stomped around the corner at the Valley the other day. A bit reminded me of Les Gaucheux a little bit. Just sort of the way it sort of.
Oh yeah, but it was completely blessed at the same time.
For sure.
And how much does fitness really matter at this level of race over this trip?
No. I would prefer her to go up to 1400. I think she is going to certainly improve to 1600. But so that would be my only issue with her. But she really looked like she liked racing at the Valley. Not all do.
Yeah. I just think, she won an open race last start, right? She's placed in a group 3, but she won an open race. So yeah, you go, well, she's on the upward spiral. She's going to improve. She sort of has to get to the level of some of those other horses. Like Charmstone fucking destroyed a group 3 last start. Destroyed it.
But Matt looks very tricky. I guess maybe.
Yeah, but they're asking me to take the same price on Saturday just about that I took in an open race the 2 weeks ago in a race where I thought that it was fucking thin. And I took $4. I think this race is completely stacked.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I'm sort of happy having a smaller bet. I'm comfortable suggesting a play on Pride of Sullivan now. I reckon the way I'll probably play it is Pride of Sullivan, St. Beauty Rising, probably St. Right to Party, it'll drift because of the map. But I would not be surprised if any horse in this race won almost. Looking through them again, yeah.
And it sounds like you wouldn't be surprised if Inhibition started $10 or above.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if it started 4 or 3. They stamped it. They loved it. The big boys.
Yeah.
It's a great race. It's a great horse race. That's why I thought we should talk about it. Talking about great horse races, the McEwen Stakes is the Group 2, John. It's over 1,000 metres at the Valley. It's a 1,000-metre dash. This race last year was won by Rothfire, who lines up again for Robbie Heathcote, who used to be a tour bus driver in Europe. Full credit to him. What a lifestyle, what a career. The same race saw Zoo Style miss the start badly, and D. Oliver just had to dig and dig and dig, and it just missed. They beat Cool and Gatter that day, who had them cold, both. Cool and Gatter came out and did what she did. I think it's a really strong form reference and a track and trip reference that you can trust here, and that's the way I want to go. So Imperatrice, Freak, we had a good bet at it, John. I think you and I sort of did that together the last time she won at the Moonee Valley. Great ride. No favours, but just made the best of a bad alley. But that was 1,200 metres. I think she's very, very good, but it was 1,200 metres. And whilst she's definitely going to handle the valley, 1,000 metres is a big distance change to 1,200. Giga Kick, the same sort of story. He was beaten first up last per 1,000 metres. Ran a great race, but he was beaten. Very, very different racetrack, Moonee Valley. 1,000 metres is a little bit different. I just think at the price, he's too short. You'll see 220, I reckon, Giga Kick at some point. You'll probably see $5 Imperatrice. I think Zoo Style's a stupid price at $13. I think he'll start single figures, and you can look to sort of learn about trading in a sustainable way, which isn't like promo bets and stuff like that, like taking big fat prices that are wrong and arbing them back, and then arbing them back in run, because this thing will lead or go close to leading, and if it goes anything like it went last year, it'll go very close to winning this race. I think on merit, and if you weigh everything that happened up in that race last year, he deserved to win it. He missed the start. He had a very tough run, and he still almost won. Therefore, I think the price between he and Rothfire should be a little bit closer, but I just think they're the two. I'm ignoring, to an extent, Acromantia, Ceradas, and Hauser Serenity.
If depending Zoo Style jumping well, will it pretty much get to control this 1,000-meter race?
No, it's going to be mad speed, but I like that. I think that's it's a poor mad speed's not going to suit Giga Kick and Imperatrice first up on like big campaigns. And then I think potentially it might suit Acromantula a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of fitness on its side.
And
it's going to be fascinating. So like if they all jump, then like JCar's fucked from barrier 4. She's going to be 4 wide and have to push on or sneak.
Yeah.
And then when she sneaks, if they all jump, that's another horse that Imperatrice and Giga Kick have to go around while they're going a million miles an hour. So I don't know. Or does Willow just smoke the pipe and just punch holes through them and just go up the guts? You know?
Very good horse, Giga Kick. Very, very good.
Oh, no. Phenomenal horse. Trials grouse. Exciting preparation. I just think at the prices.
If it's 3 lengths off of the 400 and you can make ground, I guess that's what we're going to have to find out, you know?
Yeah. I just think $13 is big for Zoo Style, and that's probably the only sort of overlay I see in the prices for someone who wants to have a bet now. And then the last race we'll do is race number 9, which is the Fian Stakes. This is a fat little field. The Fian Stakes can sometimes be a bit thin and weak. This isn't. Tuvalu's a proper horse. El Bodegon, Francesco, Pounding, Pinstriped, Goldman, Globe, Attrition, and Lunar Flare, maybe Denial Knowledge. Proper horses all could win this sort of race on their day, no doubt. There's been good money early for Tuvalu and a little bit for Attrition, who's drawn 8. I think this is probably not the right setup for Attrition. I think that Pinstriped just drawn poorly. 10 kills him. He was backed, steamed even, to beat Mr. Brightside first up this prep. That's a good reference for a 600-metre race anywhere, particularly in Victoria. Tuvalu gets shin. Wide draw suits. There's been good money. Yeah, I wouldn't knock you if you liked it. Pounding's a horse that's hard to profile. He just is the toughest animal in Australia almost, and he keeps on improving. I think Lunar Flare with a Caulfield Cup ticket locked up, potentially we can sort of go, how much intent we're going to sort of be seeing from you, big boy. Leaves me with Globe, who I'm pretty sure I said was a group horse and could win the Cox Plate 6 months ago. I reckon it will win this race. I think $3.30 is enormous. I think I almost couldn't sleep last night like it was Christmas because I was just waiting because I do the guts of the prices and I send them to Lindsay overnight, and then he sends them back in the morning with the trials done of all the horses, and I was just like waiting. Like, fuck, I wonder what he's going to say about Globe. Obviously, every nonny on Twitter is saying the trial good, but I want to see what the great man says. Stamped it. J Car, wide draw. First time Valley is a chink, but they're not making me overthink this at 330, 320.
Mm-hmm.
I think this horse is freak, and I love them fresh. That stable, we saw it with Charmstone 2 weeks ago at Caulfield. I am going to have a good bet at Globe. Race 9, number 11, Globe.
4 starts, so it's going for 5 in a row, this horse.
It's very good. Goes Celine Gaudray to J Car.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing it at Sandown.
Yeah, it ran the same day as Keats ran.
Yeah.
Celine rode it, then she rode Keats.
Yeah. Pounding beat Keats that day, did he?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe Pinstripe or one of those horses. Anyway, okay, I'm interested. It seems a mysterious horse, this Globe. It's 4 starts.
It's got shit in it that I just love the way it's. The only knock I'll kind of have with that she might go too slow on it, but then there's a nice chunky field and it's probably a nice on pace suited day, which will just create intent and it suits.
Sure, Jono
is Forgot You a massive price and worth a little go?
It's a good draw for D Moore. He's a sharper thinking rider, I think, and from those sort of draws, he can often sort of put him into a pretty good spot.
You talk about a possible Valley horse. It's 3 from 3.
Yeah, those wins were like, one of them he just ran over the top of a horse I was on.
Commander Harry. Was it Commander Harry?
It might have been Commander Harry.
Mozart.
Yeah, but one of those wins was against Sandy Prince.
Just looking at the prices, against Pinstriped, a bit home Pinstriped in the Australian Guineas last year. Obviously goes good at the Valley. Massive price difference, was good closing splits behind Brightside in the PB Lawrence. It's by Savabeel.
I think I saw D Moore after that race say is real heavy and will improve, which is weird for that stable. But what is that worth? I wouldn't really pay any attention to it, but just because we're talking about it, if Pinstripe got that barrier, I'd have a bet. I think you probably get bigger than $46, John. It started $201 against Brightside, and was $100s out to it. So it probably started $400s on the fair.
So you're very confident that she's going to go she's going to go forward from barrier 12?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's led at every single start. So
yeah,
you'd be pretty sour if it didn't go forward.
Well, there's 400 meters until they turn really hard, and then they've got 400 meters, then they're turning again.
Yeah, but I like that it's the wide draw, so it can. She might be 5 wide for a while, yeah, but she can just work across. Whereas if she's half slow, drawing barriers 4 to 1, she could get sort of flushed out the back of the surf there a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a race.
The punters watch the show. They want to find bets they can steam into. I'm saying recommendation into Globe, maybe Zoo Style, win and place. That's what I'm thinking of doing.
So recommendation, your best bet for the tracking?
Nah, Globe.
All right.
I need to overtake Rob's pot.
All right, Rob, have you got yours lined up?
Oh, good. No, it's the only thing I'm
gonna take so much money for you when we play poker. Look, I've got you. You're wobbly.
It's the So You Think horse for Gay Waterhouse.
Oh, shock me.
Yeah. Is there any?
Benny Sets bets ran 5th, 14 starts back to cause for concern.
The only issue with it is it's got Rachel King on it, but she's going to lead on it, and
that's
it's
all right.
running.
Suits.
Okay, how good are you? Which is race 5 at Rosehill. How good are you?
You've been talking to Paps. Paps is on that too.
Yeah, it just looks the best of the day.
All right, we've got
feel it in the air.
4 minutes left. Zoom are giving us.
Talk to us about
4
Group
minutes left.
1s in New Zealand.
I'm not tipping in the Group 1. I'm tipping race 1, Ruakaka, the old favourite. Number 4, Dancing Dream. All right, so
Ruakaka, race 4, number 1.
race
Dancing
1,
Queen.
number 4.
Ruakaka, race 1, number 4. Dancing Dream is Jono Rayner's best bet of the weekend in New Zealand. Now, give us a quick overview, would you please, John, of the Group 1 with 400,000.
Indeed, Group 1 Tarzino Trophy. There's plenty of horses here that you guys be well aware of. Cool Sign Mav, who's gone, but he's still there. Dragon Leap, Sharp and Smart, Pierre, La Creek, Legato, Pennywicker, the Oaks winner. There's plenty of good horses here. It looks like a good race. There's a few that are first up. There's a few that are second up coming through the Fox Bridge. Yeah, I haven't got it. Probably Legato just because it's one of my favourites. But it is $3 or just over $3. Likely gets back. Yeah, tricky race. I thought a horse called Belle Claire was an each way tip, storming home in the Fox Bridge, which is the lead up race to this. So, but yeah, tricky race, but definitely a watch. Plenty of them will be going to Australia at some point, I would have thought.
They sound like they all will, just to be honest.
Most of those ones I listed, I'd say, well, I don't know if Cool Sign Mav will be going over again, but
anything on the bloodstock front, John?
Possibly.
How enjoyable was Exeter for you?
Incredibly enjoyable.
A lot of hard work, bloody behind the scenes. I assume that was bloody good for us.
Very, very satisfying to have him win. Scapini possibly on Saturday at Toowoomba has drawn wide, so possibly not. And Boss Queen first up on Sunday at Sale, the great track. Mailbag Bloodstock Sale.
We own that track, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be good to have her back. She trolled up a storm a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, very exciting.
Have we got Ollie making the trip to Ryder?
Bo Mertens, who trolled her. Yeah.
Bowie.
Anyway, that's about it for the next little while.
Hey guys, I hope you have a phenomenal weekend, and you two watching at home. I hope you win. I hope your football team wins, unless you follow Carlton. What else?
All Blacks, Warriors.
Well, I think you're gonna get a lot of punishment for the Warriors. Like you're gonna run into Penrith at home. Good luck to you. But the All Blacks, let's go All Blacks. I'm happy to sort of think about.
We'll possibly get punishment from the French in that as well, but
please, surely not.
We looked horrible in South Africa, but
Springbok.
Springbok.
I think everyone's turned off, boys. We should sign off.
Bye for now.
See you.
Bye-bye.